This is Batman Classics, episode number 10. Today, we talk about Batman, issue number 491. I am Batman. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, bringing you Batman Classics, episode number 10. That's right, fans. This is a video series where I show you, the fans, some classic issues of Batman. And for a little while now, we're going to be covering Knightfall, that's right. And the specific issue that we're going to be talking about is Batman issue number 491. This is kind of that lead-in issue right before it starts Knightfall. So yeah, really looking forward to this, doing this series with everybody. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. All right, so let's talk about this one. So this book is written by Doug Monek, and the art is done by Jim Aparo. The artwork is cool in here. I'm going to show you here in this trade. It has classic style type of newspaper print where it's very nostalgic, so you really get into that old feel when you read this particular book. Here we get to see, obviously, Bane is in this issue. The paneling is, nice laid out, and it's a lot of fun. Joker's in this book too, so you can see that the artwork is really well done here. So let's go back in time and relive this particular issue, shall we? So in the beginning of this issue, we wind up seeing a robot breaking into a weapons supply, and we wind up seeing that Bane gets all these weapons, him and his people and whatnot. And so what happens is Harvey and Commissioner Gordon find out that Bane breaks into all these, winds up getting these weapons and whatnot. And while they're trying to solve this case, we see Bane is planning a break-in to get into Arkham Asylum. In the meantime, we wind up seeing the man in charge of Arkham, and he's writing in his diary and whatnot. And so what happens is, literally, do we see that there is this big explosion that happens in Arkham Asylum, and we wind up seeing everyone getting broken free. And the first person that is broken free is actually the Joker. And Bane and his little cronies plan this, and because they realize that he is the one that can set all the others free. And throughout this issue, you wind up seeing the Joker terrorizing all the orderlies and everybody else, and trying to free all the other inmates in here. And so in the meantime, once the Joker frees all the orderlies, or frees all the inmates, we wind up seeing him go to Jeremiah Arkham himself, and he starts terrorizing him. He puts like this shotgun to his head, and if he moves, it's going to blow his head off and whatnot. And so throughout this entire issue, we wind up seeing the inmates and trying to battle the Gotham City police, and there's this big back and forth, and Batman gets into the scene, and we get to see that they don't succeed in containing all the inmates. And what happens is the inmates wind up escaping, and this is a big deal, and this is what sets up the whole thing for Knightfall. Now, what is also inhibiting Batman as well is that he's been sick recently, and he's not fully recovered from his sickness, and he is forced now to go out into nighttime and try to gather these inmates once again. And that's what sets the stages for Knightfall, which I thought was really cool. And by the time we get to the very, very end of this book, we see that Jeremiah Arkham, he winds up getting set free, but he becomes a Looney Tune himself, and he goes crazy. So, and again, that's what sets the stage for Knightfall number 1, which takes place in Batman issue number 492, and that will be the next episode, or next issue that we'll cover. So what I think about this book, I thought it was a lot of fun. It's good setup to Knightfall. When you go back and reread these old issues, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that kind of sets up this whole event that took place forever and ever and ever. And as you slowly read these issues, it builds up and builds up and builds up, and it gets to that point. So I'm really looking forward to doing the coverage on this whole storyline, volumes 1, 2, and 3. So hopefully you guys will join me for this ride. And yeah, so this has been Batman Classics episode number 10. Guys, tell me what you thought in the comments below, what you thought of this storyline. Were you a fan? Were you not a fan? Did you remember this issue? Where does this bring you back in time? And fans, as always, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Channel doesn't exist without your support, so please give it a sub, like the video, and fans, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and take care, guys. Bye.